The Crown's executive producer Suzanne Mackie confirmed that the much-loved show will end after season 6, taking the royal family into the early 2000s. Speaking to Broadcast on Thursday, the producer, 35, claimed the Netflix show's creator Peter Morgan simply can't write another season because recent history hasn't had time to gain a proper perspective. She explained, Peter has said it very articulately, that he simply can't write something unless there has been time to gain a proper perspective. Suzanne also reflected on the fact that Peter likes to leave a decade between the Crown's plotlines and current modern life. She explained, I think Peter, always felt 10 years is the minimum amount of time that he can see something in a historical context, to allow him to really understand it. I don't think he'll deviate from that. The executive producer continued, we all know these stories, but what Peter does so brilliantly is get underneath that, and understand the landscape in a more nuanced, complex, surprising way. The Crown insider then explained that if the show's script gets too close to present-day events she fears the plot will start to feel contrived. Despite the show's success, Suzanne said she agreed with Peter's decision and thought it was definitely time to move on from the popular show. Reflecting on casting Emma Corrin as Diana, Princess of Wales, in Season 4, Suzanne claimed it was one of her proudest career highlights. Emma was originally brought to the show to help out while Emerald Fennell ran her lines as Camilla Parker Bowles. But after the young actress impressed executives at the read-through they gave her a screen test and realized that might be Diana. Netflix announced last July that The Crown will air for 6 series after originally being confirmed to end with Season 5. Creator Peter Morgan revealed he decided to return to the original plan, meaning Imelda Staunton will now appear for 2 series as an older Queen Elizabeth II instead of the planned one. In January 2020 it was previously announced that The Crown would end after its 5th series, with Series 4, airing late last year. Peter said, as we started to discuss the storylines for Series 5, it soon became clear that in order to do justice to the richness and complexity of the story we should go back to the original plan and do 6 seasons. The news was announced by Netflix on their Twitter account, as they wrote, News from the Palace, we can confirm there will be a 6th, and final, season of It The Crown Netflix, in addition to the previously announced 5. The streaming service then clarified that fans will still have one more series featuring the current cast, including Olivia Colman and Helena Bonham Carter, with an older range of stars taking over in Series 5. In the 5th series Leslie Manville will take over the role of Princess Margaret from Helena Bonham Carter. She was believed to have been producer's first choice for the role, is set to play the Queen's younger sister during one of the darkest periods of her life. The role was also taken on by Vanessa Kirby in Season 1 and 2, documenting the early years of Princess Margaret's marriage to Anthony Armstrong-Jones. Netflix previously revealed that more than 73 million households have streamed at least part of show since it first launched in November 2016. Series 3 of The Crown hit Netflix in November 2019, with Oscar winner Olivia Colman taking the throne from Claire Foy, who portrayed the monarch in the first 2 seasons. The 3rd series followed events including the Aberfan mining disaster, the moon landing, the romance between Prince Charles and Camilla Schand and the investiture of Charles as the Prince of Wales. Also appearing in the series are Tobias Menzies as Prince Philip, Helena as Princess Margaret, Josh O'Connor as Prince Charles, and Ben Daniels as Anthony Armstrong-Jones, the Earl of Snowdon. Peter previously told The Sun, at the outset I had imagined The Crown running for 6 seasons. But now that we have begun work on the stories for Season 5, it has become clear to me that this is the perfect time and place to stop. When The Crown was first announced, it was thought the series would run for 6 series, spanning 6 decades, and cover the royal family's history up to 2003. Cindy Holland, vice president of original content at Netflix, said, "The first 3 seasons of The Crown defined an era, and I know the upcoming 4th season will build further on that success. It's a stunning example of award-winning entertainment, created in the UK and loved by millions of fans around the world. I fully support Peter Morgan's creative decision and am excited to see how he, Imelda Staunton and the cast and crew of Season 5, bring this landmark series to a fitting and spectacular end." Key moments in the royal family's history the show will not cover includes Meghan and Harry's decision to step back as senior royals. Meghan and Harry rocked the foundations of the royal family when they announced their shock decision as they worked to become financially independent. In a turbulent year for the House of Windsor, Prince Andrew was also sacked from all royal duties by the Queen after a disastrous Newsnight interview about his years of friendship with pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Executive producer Suzanne Mackie shared earlier this year, "To be honest, whatever the life of The Crown is after where we are now, I doubt we'll ever go as far into the present day." It comes after it was revealed last week that The Crown bosses have cast Jonny Lee Miller as Prime Minister John Major in the upcoming series. In the surprise casting, Netflix chiefs revealed the Trainspotting star, 48, who is rumoured to have rekindled his romance with ex-Angelina Jolie, will play the Tory Prime Minister, who was in charge of the country from November 1990 and May 1997. He followed on from Margaret Thatcher's leadership, with the Iron Lady played by Gillian Anderson in the wildly popular Netflix period drama. Insiders told The Sun, "It may seem like an unlikely casting as the two men couldn't be more different, but the creators of The Crown aren't interested in an actor playing a version of themselves." It was a similar idea to when Sex Education star Gillian Anderson was cast as Margaret Thatcher in the last series of The Crown, a decision which surprised fans of the show at the time. But at 48, Johnny is actually the perfect age to play Sir John, who became PM at the age of 47 after Maggie was removed from power. Sir John was Prime Minister from 1990 to 1997, and served as Chancellor of the Exchequer and Foreign Secretary under Thatcher from 1987 to 1990. Major entered politics at a young age, standing as a young Conservative for Lambeth Council at the age of 21 and became chairman of the Housing Committee. He then stood for Parliament twice in St Pancras from 1974 and lost, before winning in Huntingdonshire in 1979. The politician became a minister in 1985 and became a part of the cabinet in 1987 as Chief Secretary to the Treasury before being promoted to Foreign Secretary in 1989, and shortly after he was named Chancellor. Major replaced Mrs Thatcher in 1990 after winning a leadership contest which she dropped out of. Mrs Thatcher had won a first ballot in the leadership contest, but failed to secure outright victory, and initially pledged to continue her bid. But the majority of her cabinet members had told her she would not win, which Mr Major knew, and she later decided to step down. He then pledged to destroy his predecessor after believing she was critical of him following her departure, according to a book by former Daily Telegraph editor Charles Moore in 2019. Major was known for having a mild-mannered style which may appear to be in stark contrast to Miller, who is known for playing bad boy characters like Sick Boy in Trainspotting. fans of the show were notably surprised by Miller's casting announcement, and they took to Twitter to share their thoughts. One person wrote, "Jonny Lee Miller, best known for playing Sick Boy in Trainspotting, will play Prime Minister Sir John Major in the 5th season of The Crown. Didn't see that coming." Sick another added, "I think it's unprecedented, yeah." A major part of the excitement also comes from the casting as opposed to the storylines, which is quite unusual in itself. Jonny Lee Miller as John Major though, just announced. I mean, Sir John must be smiling today. While one person joked, "Oh okay I'll start watching The Crown. But I am going to be very confused hornily because Jonny Lee Miller is Mr. Super Hottie Pants MC brilliant actor, and John Major is Mr. Nonio Thosa Things, sick." The announcement comes after it was revealed he has been reconnecting with ex Angelina following her visits to his Brooklyn area apartment. She has been staying at the ultra-luxurious Carlisle Hotel overlooking Central Park while visiting New York with her children, where room prices begin at $700, with suites ranging thousands of dollars per night. The Sun recently claimed that Miller has not only met Pax, 17, but also Jolie's youngest son Knox, 12. Angelina shares custody of both kids with ex-husband Brad Pitt, in addition to Maddox, 19, Zahara, 16, Shiloh, 15 and Vivian, 12. On her first evening with Johnny, Angelina only took Knox along, and they got on like a house on fire, a source told the outlet. Knox is a sweet kid and I imagine she decided he was the easiest one to begin introductions with. And Pax was curious what Miller was like, so he came the next evening. She went back the next afternoon with Pax, who was curious to meet this guy she's always spoken so fondly about, said the insider. They only hung out for a short while at Johnny's apartment, but they seemed to get along well. Last week, the Girl Interrupted star spent about 3 hours inside, where the pair reportedly enjoyed dinner, and was then spotted exiting the premise at 10:30 p.m. They were married in 1996 after meeting on the set of their movie Hackers a year prior, but separated shortly after and officially divorced in 1999. Back in March, it was reported that The Crown's casting directors have begun looking for a sandy-haired preteen boy to play Prince William in the much-anticipated 5th series of the hit Netflix show. Netflix is said to have already put out casting calls to hundreds of top schools and drama clubs for a youngster to play the future king as preparations to film the 5th series get underway. A Netflix source told The Times that the hunt for the Duke of Cambridge was in its early days, while the search for his younger brother, Prince Harry, would begin at a later stage. Casting director Nina Gold is said to be looking for youngsters between the ages of 9 and 13 to play Prince William, who was played in the 4th series by Lucas Barber Grant.